record than the Hornets after the bubble was over.
Yep, that's true.
All right,
Tom,
let's do the draft. We're gonna do a mock draft. We're gonna go through. I'm gonna let. Let's see. Let's go with I'm gonna go Hunter for the number 1 overall pick. Minnesota Timberwolves. This is what we're gonna do. If you're the GM of that team, I want y'all to pretend who you are and what you're gonna do. Minnesota Timberwolves. You've got D'Angelo Russell. You've got Karl Anthony Towns. You got the number 1 pick. ESPN's. I'm gonna tell you their perfect pick for each team that they think. You know how that's worth anything. So they've got LaMelo at number 1. Other guys you can pick, of course. Wiseman, Okongwu, Edwards, Halliburton, Advija, Toppin, Hayes, Okoro, Maxey, Vassell. But the ESPN one says the perfect pick for them is LaMelo Ball. Now, before we go any further on LaMelo, I do want to comment. I just, I was watching and this is what trips me out about scouts every year. And so they talked about he's 6'7". He's a playmaker, but then he shot 26% from 3, and he doesn't play good defense.
But they said he's the best NBA prospect out of the top 4 or 5.
Right. So you can't shoot and you can't guard anybody, but you're the best prospect. Now remember, here's what's also weird about it.
That's his brother. Well, his brother plays better defense.
No sense.
Have we heard a word from LeVar about this? Like he pumped up the other kid like crazy, and he's not saying nothing about this one. This is all the most fishiest stuff ever. Now, I'm not saying anything about him going overseas and playing. That's fine. But if the Hornets picked him, I would just lose my mind that you picked a guy and his description was he can't guard anybody and he can't shoot. Well,
he just fit right in with
I know.
us.
Here we go, Charlotte. Him and MKG.
They're used to making that pick, so
it's just insane. Like how that's the number 1 pick. Like how do you see that if you're Minnesota? Yeah, I want that.
If I'm Minnesota and I'm making the first pick, I cannot take anybody other than Edwards.
Yeah,
Anthony Edwards out of Georgia. He can play the 2 guard. He could probably move over if you're running small ball and play the 3. That's because you're just gonna have D'Angelo Russell running point. So regardless, you'll have both of them on the floor, and they're both big-time scorers. So you're looking at it, we've always said you got to look at the floor, your team, your starters, and say, well, we got to get to at least 60 somehow. As soon as Anthony Edwards hits the court, he could score 20, Russell can score 20, and Cat can score 20. So there's your 60. So to me, you got to go with him, Anthony Edwards.
All right, Terry, with the number 2 pick in the NBA draft, you're the Golden State Warriors. Anthony Edwards is off the board. Who are you looking at then, and who will you take to be the Warriors' pick? The ESPN's perfect pick is Memphis's James Wiseman. Looking at another mock is Wiseman there at center as well. And this mock has got Edwards 1, Wiseman 2. So I'll go with that at first. So Terry, if you're the Ultimate Warriors, the Golden State Warriors. If you're the Golden State Warriors, who are you going with the number 2 pick in the NBA draft?
Well, if I got a pick, first of all, I'd look at a trade if I could get somebody for the middle. But if I cannot, then it's easy. I mean, you go Wiseman. You take him. He's going to fill my middle. And he's not going to have to be your all-star. He's got everybody around him, Thompson, Curry, your leader of Green. So he's going to be taught how to play. So, I mean, he has to have nobody else. So you go Wiseman, and you're perfect.
So, what's so hard about these big men is so many.
Tom, you got to have a leader.
Is he gonna teach him how to sucker punch somebody in the family
probably
jewels?
is. This is how you win in this league.
That's how you win in the league.
So what's so bad about or hard to do now with this draft in the NBA is LaMelo plays overseas. Wiseman didn't get to play at all hardly. So, it used to be a day we get to see at least 2 or 3 years of these guys. And now with nothing, like you see a comparison, like with Wiseman, I'll see one that says David Robinson. I'll see one that says
I don't like it when they do that.
I'll see one that says Chris Bosh. And because he's lefty, big, tall, 7-footer. And I'm like,
Chris Bosh was a Hall of Famer.
Well, David Robinson's one of the greatest centers of all time.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing with the comparison, but I don't like when you do that because that puts so much pressure on that young man.
Right.
Well, no,
Joe,
no,
Joe
I'm
Burrow
just
said the
talking-
same thing
they're
whenever he was
doing-
being compared to Brady in Montana.
Yeah.
He said, Brady's still playing and Montana was great, so let's hold back on
Right.
those.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
they're
the
doing
cri-
physical comparisons that way, and what I'm saying is that he could be great, and if you miss it, you're going to feel bad. But you could also pick him. And how many big men at number 2 or number 1 have we seen? And just not with the Greg Odens, the Sam Bowies. It's just it's just and then they pass on a guard or forward that averages 25 a game, like the Jordans and
the
Pippins and
difference
Kawhi
here though
Leonards.
is that Golden State's full kind of everywhere else.
Right,
It's
and
like
I
they're
think-
not hurting
Yeah, they're
anywhere.
not.
I think it fits good. I
They
think
would just
if
fit
drafting.
need.
If drafting, you're 100% right. I think it does. However, they could look at it this way: if they don't want to go Wiseman, if I was them, would look at the kid from Israel because he can play multiple positions, and then you can sign 7-footers that don't score a lot. So Wiseman, if they do draft him, you're not asking him to score 20, right? Until maybe 3 or 4 years down the road.
Yeah, he
Right
don't
now,
have-
but right now you're not. But realistically, how open is their title window? 3 years, maybe. Steph and
Yeah.
Clay, they're getting old.
Oh yeah.
So if you're looking at 3 years and you draft him, he's not going to score anyway. So I would look at drafting the kid from Israel who can play multiple positions, shoot 3, and then just get 7-footers that go in there and get rebound and play defense and get 6 fouls a game like the Bulls used to with Luke Longleys and those guys. You may even be able to get Dwight Howard on the cheap at a minimum contract if you do
I
that.
think they're already looking to see if they can sign him.
Yeah, so that could be something. All right, so that leaves it. I'm going to do the 3 picks since I'm a Hornets fan here. This has got LaMelo Ball. Ain't no way Michael Jordan picks LaMelo Ball. I don't know why they would think that or anybody would think that unless Jordan is specifically telling Stephen A. Smith, I'm picking LaMelo. I wouldn't believe it until it happened. I don't know, Terry, you feel the same way?
Oh,
or-
I'm the same way.
I just don't see Michael doing that. Not after his daddy said he was bet greater than Michael Jordan or LaMelo. Did he say he was, or he would beat him right now, or whatever it was? So that leaves me with Advija from Israel, Toppin. One of these has Okongwu. Hunter, you know anything about him?
I do not. Any from
It's got him
USC?
yeah, he's got him projected 6'9", 245. They say he's like Bam Adebayo from Miami.
Well, if he's anywhere close to that, that'd be pretty good.
Right
ROI.
now, he's only 6'9" though, and he's projected. He can't shoot, and he's 6'9". How many guys have the Hornets drafted that can't shoot and they're 6'9"? Like, is that another?
Does the trend follow?
Right, is that another thing we want to go to? So that's why right now, if
They did that the past 3 years. So PJ Washington can kind of score.
right.
And then the year before they drafted traded JK. They traded because technically they had Shea Gilgeous, but they traded him for Miles Bridges. That trade turned out to be stupid. But Miles can't shoot. He's just athletic. So
You guys took my 2 favorite players in the draft. I'm crossing my fingers that Edwards makes it to 3. That Minnesota does.
You have to trade
does
up.
get LaMelo. If they get LaMelo, we get him. I think. I don't think Golden State would get him. I think
I
they
don't
don't want
think
him on the
Minnesota's
floor
that
with all.
They don't need him.
No,
No,
they
they
don't
don't
need
need
him. That's
So
exactly
that's
right.
what I'm. So when the number 1 pick comes across and it's not Anthony Edwards, I'm going to be excited because I think the Hornets may get him at the 3 spot if that happens. I think Wiseman or someone will trade up to get Wiseman at the 2, or maybe even LaMelo if he goes Wiseman 1. So I'm going to go. If this is my choice, I'm going the kid from overseas, Avdija, as my pick for the Hornets. So Tom, I'm gonna let you do the 5 pick. Let's go back to Hunter real quick for the 4. Hunter, Chicago at 4. Because 5's Cleveland. I'll let Tom handle that. So Chicago's at 4. You've got LaMelo, Toppin, Halliburton, Killian Hayes, Okoro, Ogongwu, who we just talked about as being the BAM. They've got him going to Washington 8. Sadiq Bey, Devin Vassell,
4
Nesmith, Patrick Williams.
has got a lot of implications on what happens at 5
Right.
because they both like Toppin. Chicago likes Toppin. Cleveland likes Toppin. And Toppin fits both of them because you don't need any more guards
No.
in Chicago or Cleveland. Chicago's got Levine
So neither one of them
and
would go
Kobe
LaMelo
White.
here.
No, neither one of them goes LaMelo. I don't even know. Look, I've watched some of LaMelo's tape from overseas, and he's played very good. But I don't see anybody that needs a need at guard except maybe Minnesota out of those top teams. at least the top 5.
Does LaMelo seem like a 6'7" like and one player to you?
He's
Like,
his
highlights
brother.
doesn't look a lot like
He's his brother.
right.
This is just Lonzo all over again.
Right.
His shot just isn't as ugly.
The Lonzo shot is just god
So
awful.
if I'm Chicago, I'm sorry, Tom, but if Toppin's there, they're taking it.
Yeah, probably.
So if I'm Chicago, I'm taking Toppin. You got Zach LaVine and Kobe White. You can move Zach LaVine to the 2 or Kobe to the 2. They both can score. And you add another scorer right there in Obi Toppin, then you're building something really nice in Chicago.
All right, Tom, that's your Cavaliers at the 5.
Well,
So with Edwards, Wiseman, Avdija, and Toppin off the board, that leaves you with LaMelo, Halliburton, point guards, Killian Hayes, point guard. Then Isaac Okoro from Auburn, 6'6", guard,
good.
small forward.
He's the one that beat North Carolina.
He's physically good.
Okongwu,
Yes.
6'9", power forward from USC. Sadiq Bey, a 6'8", small forward from Villanova. Devin Vassell, Florida State, 6'7" guard.
That boy's good.
I'm trying to find some
But he's a
height for you.
guard.
Patrick Williams, Florida State, 6'8", freshman small forward. Or you trade back or
no.
move around.
I would get if Toppin's not on the board, I'd get Bay because there's a lot of other guards. What Cleveland needs is a guy on the wing who can play defense and shoot.
Usually after the first 2, they're like, those are the 2 solid guys that we know are the best. After that, you should just feel
there's a lot of guys ranked ahead of them, but a lot of them are guards.
Yeah,
and that's not what we need.
I'm looking at this and I'm seeing just 10, 12 guards. Like, and then when it comes to that, that's going to be based on what you like a lot. Like, so if that's the case, Cole Anthony could go 6 or he could go 16. Depending on who likes him.
I'd like either Toppin or Bay. If Toppin's off the board, then they're going to get Bay. I think either one of those would be a good addition.
I remember earlier this year, didn't they have Cole Anthony like in the top 5?
Yeah, they had
most of the
Cole
season?
Anthony really up there, but then he got hurt.
So Darius Bay, let me read his little scouting report for you, Tom. Or Sadiq Bay. Let's see.
Plays defense, can shoot threes,
Says he's
score.
6'8", Villanova who can guard 1 through 4. Bay is a killer 3-point shooter. It says.
Yeah.
Who rated inside the 90th percentile as a spot-up shooter. He made 45% of his threes. So Terry, this kid is 6'8". He can guard 4 positions, and he shot 45% from 3. LaMelo Ball is 6'7", can't guard anybody, shot
And he's supposed to be
26%
up at
from
the top.
3, and he's the number one pick.
It's that last name. It's his last name. It's his last name. That's exactly what it is. It's his last name.
It's weird, isn't it? All right, so Terry, we're gonna go with you with the 6th pick right now.
Mm-hmm.
That is the Atlanta Hawks.
Okay.
It's got Halliburton.
Mine's easy.
It's got point guard. Who you got for the Hawks then?
I got Okora.
Oh.
I want somebody who can lead
From
you.
Auburn?
Yep. Because I think he reminds me of a Chauncey Billups. He's going to be under control. He can physically play defense. He's tough underneath, and that's who I would go with.
He is the one that had Auburn on that run 2 years ago. He is very physical, but he can score.
Yes.
Man, he can score.
All right, I'm going to go over to Tom. You guys both had 2. This will be his 2nd pick. Detroit Pistons are at the 7 pick. This one's got them picking a kid from France, Killian Hayes. ESPN says the best pick for the Pistons would be Obi Toppin at 7, but he didn't last in our draft.
Toby didn't lost. Yeah, they got him with
ESPN had the Cavs picking Halliburton, and then Okongwu all up at 3 for the Hornets. If they pick another guy that can't score, I'm going to lose my mind. I mean, just score. I want somebody who can get 15 to 25. That's all I'm asking. He don't have to be Jordan. Just get 15, 20, something.
Well, I guess, if you're looking at the projected pick, if Detroit needs a point guard, Hayes is the guy they're going to get. I would say he's a pretty solid pick there. But once you get past about 6'7", it starts.
You just don't know.
Crapshoot.
It's kind of like you
Take the best athlete.
It's need.
Take the best athlete.
Yeah.
Or need.
Take the need.
Do you want to get, like I said, like Cole Anthony could be the next pick or whatever. So I really only want to get down to 7, 8, 9, kind of see where the Cavs were, the Hornets were, and what you guys thought.
Teams that stand to improve themselves immediately. That's what I would focus on. I think Cleveland, if they do get that wing score, it's going to help them. But it's a crapshoot. These guys are 19 years old,
Yeah.
man. You don't know what they're going to do.
You picked Bay at 5. They've got him at 17 to Minnesota for their second pick.
I like him though. I like the measurements on him.
Yeah.
I like a guy who plays defense. I like a guy who could shoot threes. But I was
45% three.
But I was talking about him like way back.
Yeah.
Like that's the type of player that Cleveland needs, and that's was on their radar a long time ago. So I don't want them to see it take another guard. I think they shouldn't have taken guards 2 straight drafts.
Right.
So
I
do like some of their options, and I hope maybe somehow Wiseman slides down there, because even though he's 7'1", he's going to be a versatile player. So that's what I'm holding up hopes for, that Wiseman somehow slides down the board. Cleveland gets him at 5, but I don't think that's likely.
Terry,
Hunter.
it's
I
got
your
your Celtics for the ESPN. The perfect pick for them is this guy named Precious. So
Precious.
Yeah, his name's Precious.
Okay. Well, I mean,
it is Precious.
If my name was
and
Precious,
I'm not even going to.
if we can come up with somebody like we did last year, we picked Williams that come from Tennessee. We got to have a spot filler. That's what it's going to be at 14. And I'm like Tom.
European.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? You just picking from and I'm like Tom, from 7 down on back. Just pick the best athlete that's there for position.
Unless you're one of these guys that sits around in a little room and just watches film with these guys all the time. Once you get past the first 4 or 5 guys, it's really
what film do you watch that says Ball's better than the kid that we picked earlier?
This is Daddy's got a bigger mouth. That's the only thing. I mean,
his dad's gonna talk him into a top 10, maybe a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
Well, Tyrese Halliburton's is on here. It says, yes, the Cavs have taken guards in the lottery the past 2 years. Without clarity that Sexton is a point guard or Garland is a long-term starter, Cleveland shouldn't be afraid of taking Halliburton. So there you go, Tom.
They'll screw it up.
Some more guards for you. All right, JP, sit up, stretch, wake up.
He's eating.
Eat. Say hello to your fans. Hey, fans. All right, JP, let's take a break. When we come back, we're picking NFL games and then more Masters updates on KTC.
When is being different a good thing? Well, at Friendship Jeep Dodge Ram in Forest City, our customers say we're different.